For the first time in nearly 4 decades, the Olympics are returning to Los Angeles, California. Today, we got a look at where many of the venues for the 2028 Summer Games will be, from Long Beach to Pasadena, Dodger Stadium, even the Universal Studios lot. Now, this is a big deal because when the world's biggest sport event comes to your country, you get a lot of tourists, a ton of revenue, global prestige that comes with hosting the games. Last year's Paris Olympics had more than 11 million paying visitors, and of course, many more TV viewers watching and saying to themselves, we should visit Paris sometime. And under normal circumstances, LA could expect to see similar benefits. Last year, officials predicted the LA Olympics could generate $7 billion in revenue, with a significant chunk of that coming from foreign tourists. But circumstances aren't exactly normal, are they? Donald Trump's entire shtick as president is that America is being ripped off by foreigners, and we're kicking people out, not letting people in. Heck, we've canceled the visas of more than 1,000 foreign students in U.S. colleges, let many of them be hunted down for deportation with no due process. Our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, says, if you think the wrong way, we don't really need you. Listen to this. Visiting America is not an entitlement, he writes. It is a privilege extended to those who respect our laws and values. It's policy born out of the general MAGA worldview that says that foreigners are taking from our society without contributing. Here's the thing to remember, since we're also in this trade war that might crater the American economy. America has always run a huge trade surplus with the rest of the world in one particular industry: tourism to America, right? People have always wanted to visit the United States. They come from all over the world, and they visit our institutions and our shops and our museums and eat in our restaurants and stay in our hotels. The U.S. travel industry says it generated $1.3 trillion last year and supported 15 million American jobs. That's not just from foreign families on holiday. Much of it also comes from an educational system that was the envy of the world until a couple of months ago. Because the world also sends its budding scientists and engineers and doctors to America to get educated, and then Americans, again, take their tuition dollars, right? This is one of those places where the flow of dollars go from the foreigners to the Americans. We also get the benefit of incredibly smart people coming to our country, where they do research here in America that helps American health and enterprise. I mean, everyone understands and knows this at some level. Even MAGA people grasp the concept when the foreigner in question is, for instance, a certain South African migrant who, how'd he get here? Right, he made his way to study at the University of Pennsylvania before he started a bunch of companies, becoming the world's richest man. His immigration status during those early years, a little unclear, by the way. Again, this is a very common story, and now the U.S. is basically trying to chase all these people out with these ludicrous mass visa cancellations, which appeared to start as a kind of ideological crusade against people that had wrongthink on the issue of the war in Gaza. But now they're just on this just incomprehensibly capricious spree where they appear to be just getting anyone that's got any kind of infractions, including people who had none, that are maybe made up or an error. Here's one example in the case of Suguru Anda. He's a Japanese grad student in computer science at Brigham Young University, okay? He's married with 5 children, 2 of whom were born here in the U.S. ICE told Anda his visa has been revoked because they found a criminal record for him, okay? But he only has 2 speeding tickets on his record, as well as a catch and release violation from a fishing trip in 2019, which was dismissed by a court. Nevertheless, he and his family may be forced out of the country before the end of the month for 2 speeding tickets and a fishing violation, which was dismissed. And of course, Trump persecution extends beyond college students. Border officials in Houston detained and deported an Australian man who had more than a year left on his work visa. He'd been trying to get back to the States after attending an overseas memorial for his sister. He says U.S. officials called him an epithet and told him Trump is back in town. We're doing things the way we always should have been doing them. Now, the effect of all this on people coming to this great country and on U.S. tourism is exactly what you'd expect it to be. See all those charts? See what direction they go? It's from the Financial Times, and it shows how travel from Europe to the U.S. has already cratered under Trump. Foreign dollars that would have flowed here, not going here. It's happening elsewhere, too. New data this week shows that arrivals of non-citizens to the U.S. by plane dropped almost 10% in March from a year earlier. And Canadian flight reservations to the U.S. are down 70% through September versus the same period last year, another study found. That's Canada, which accounts for, get this, more than a quarter of tourism to the U.S. In a new worst-case estimate, Goldman Sachs says reduced travel and boycotts could cost the U.S. almost $90 billion in lost GDP this year alone. Again, stress this enough, that's money that flows from foreigners to Americans that Donald Trump, in his infinite wisdom, has decided to possibly choke off. Trump can bray all he wants about sticking it to those no-good foreigners, but in the same way it's actually Americans who are going to be the ones to pay the tariffs, when it comes to his and Marco Rubio's war on tourism, it's Americans that are going to pay the price.